Welcome back. Well, the national capital is once again facing a severe air pollution crisis with air quality levels deteriorating sharply across Delhi and the NCR. The air quality index has slipped into the severe to hazardous category, crossing the 700 mark in several areas, making this the worst air quality recorded so far this season. A dense blanket of toxic smog engulfed the city, worsened by unfavorable weather conditions. Authorities have activated emergency measures and advised residents to avoid outdoor activities. In response to the deteriorating air quality, several states in the NCR have announced changes to school operations to limit students' exposure to pollution. In Noida, students from pre-nursery to class 5th will continue with full online classes until further notice, while classes 6th to 9th and classes 11th will follow a hybrid system. Ghaziabad has issued similar instructions. In Delhi, following the implementation of stage 4 restrictions under the GRAP plan, schools have been directed to adopt a hybrid mode for classes up to class 10th and classes 11th. The decision was taken after the Commission for Air Quality Management invoked stage 4 of the GAP as AQI levels crossed the severe plus threshold. Beyond schools, the Delhi government has instructed both government and private offices to reduce physical attendance. On-site attendance has been capped at 50%, with the remaining staff working from home, except where required for essential and emergency services. Let's continue to talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the program is Dr. P.S.V. Rao, Consultant Surgeon, Manipal Hospital. Dr. C.B. Mishra, Director Principal, Prudence School, is also with us on the program. Kavita Ashok, environmentalist, with us on the program. Last but not the least, Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, Senior Journalist, also joins us on the program. Kavita ji, I'll begin with you. Yesterday, it was difficult to breathe in Delhi. Today, Messi was in Delhi as well. I don't know how he feels about the air pollution, but I'm sure he's not going to go back with a favorable impression of Delhi. This government has been around for almost a year now. I personally feel that they could have done a lot more. The Parali season starts somewhere in October, if I'm not wrong. Preparations could have been made when the monsoon was here. Delhi has been reduced to a third world capital today. And this is not only vehicular pollution that we are talking about. This has a lot to do with construction practices, construction norms. This has a lot to do with the cleanliness protocols a large city like Delhi must adopt. Tokyo has, an equal amount of population as Delhi, but still, there is not a speck of dirt on the roads. Where are we failing? Where is the problem, do you think? Why are we not able, to get a hold of this pollution issue? We have landed on the dark side of the moon, which very few countries have done. And we can't get rid of PM 2.5 and PM 10. Yesterday, I had Dr. Bagai on my show. He went on to say something very haunting, that in 20 years, lung cancer in NCR is going to be an epidemic, a pandemic. It's scary.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vineet. See, I'm not going to give a clean chit to the authorities by saying that Delhi has a geographical position in such a manner, which is a fact, which is a geographical fact, that the topography is such that, when winter sets in and the air pressure, the winds are blowing at a speed lesser than 15 kilometers per hour, pollution gets accumulated just above the ground level, and hence, it's unable to blow away the pollutants. So one factor is this. But that doesn't give us a clean chit to have such choking air in Delhi, because there are extraneous reasons. As you just mentioned, construction is going unmonitored. I have myself seen factories guzzling, smoke in the night around Ghaziabad and Faridabad areas. Then let's also count in thermal plants. We have 11 to 15 functional thermal plants which are around in the area of 300 kilometers around Delhi in the periphery. So you can imagine there are so many factors, and then to add to it so much population in Delhi with vehicular pollution and construction going on, then we have always these dirt on the roads, people are burning garbage. That is also unmonitored, the landfill, the garbage burning, many places I have seen myself. So there are so many factors, and I think that why don't we look at Beijing, that is such a living example of how they have tackled the air pollution problem. Then you mentioned that 1 year has been has gone by, and we do not see any fruitful results this year also in air pollution crisis. I feel that we just lagged behind in implementing the winter action plan. It came in a little late because see, air pollution problem every government has understood in the past, and this government also understood that come winter, come Diwali, and Delhi is going to be choked. We are going to be breathless. So when we already know it's going to happen, we should have implemented the winter action plan earlier. Even if I think you can start in September, what's the harm? Because Delhi, I'm sure Delhiites would be willing to abide by the rules and regulations and whatever fines the government is implementing. Then GRAP also I feel has been implemented in I understand in a very casual manner. 300, 400 AQI is happening around in and around Delhi NCR, and now we are implementing GRAP for. Had it been any other city, I was just talking to sir and he was saying Bangalore is AQI is hardly touching 50, and Bombay implemented GRAP 3 before us. There is no competition, Vineet, but what I'm saying is that is it that we are a little more non-serious, or is Delhi getting accustomed to living in this state of breathlessness and getting choked? So lung cancer of course is coming. We can see it happening. People rushing to hospitals is already OPD is full. I just don't know why is it not a health emergency yet.
Gautam, what do you make of what's happening here? Why not begin preparing for a pollution crisis in August, September? We are busy dealing with the rains in June, July, August. By the time, in fact, the government takes a respite from that emergency, the pollution begins. Why is this becoming so inconceivably difficult for the current government and the past governments? And I'm sorry to speak, I'm sorry to say this, but 14, 15 years ago, Delhi did not have this problem.
I think it's a combination of crop patterns in Punjab. You didn't have 3 crops of paddy in Punjab before. It's that last crop that you have just as the winter sets in that causes all the problems as far as barley is concerned. Now, the other thing is, do you really need to have paddy growing in Punjab? Now, you're not going to be able to tackle it when a puny state like Delhi stands up against Punjab and says, don't do this because Punjab need not listen. It's the same at every state level. Every state is concerned about its own requirements and is beholden to its own farmers and its own people. So it calls for a central initiative. As far as the thermal power plants go, it's the same thing. They are coal-based. There can be a lot of pollution control devices put in along with the thermal power plants to reduce the pollution from them. As far as the small MSMEs factories go, they do not listen. It's the same with the pollution of the Jamna. They just pour stuff into it. These are the smaller factories. Again, it's a political matter to some extent. The states will not act because then they're hitting their own people. It has to be a central initiative. So if this is not done, I'm surprised there's hardly a murmur from the central government. You've got these CAQM people, the National Green Tribunal, they're just theorists. They come from JNU and they bark and nobody pays the blindest bit of notice, least of all the government departments or government companies or government factories. Nobody bothers with these people. They pass orders, they're just thrown away, I think, because certainly nobody does anything about it. So, either it's a serious matter or it's not. This is maybe the 3rd or 4th or 5th year that I've been on your programs with regard to this. It is getting boring because nothing is ever done.
That's
Many.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Dr. Rao. Nothing is ever done, and there is this deafening silence from the center as well when it comes to the issue of pollution. The Singapore embassy, a number of other countries who have representation in the capital city, like they always do in any capital city, have issued notices to their citizens as well living in Delhi to not go out. This is internationally embarrassing. How are we going to become a Vishwaguru?
Good evening to you and to the panelists and others viewing this program. If you permit me, I will mention the 8 suggestions I made way back in October in both print media and in your show. One that has already been mentioned, the thermal power plants, including the Bhadarpur thermal plant. There are 11 of them within 300 kilometers, which Kavita mentioned, and these need to be moved out. The Bhadarpur provides 90% of the pollutants from the electric energy industry, and supplies only 8% of the electric power that Delhi uses. That is one. Second, I had suggested that punitive tax be put on all polluting fossil fuel, and that money be used to subsidize electric vehicles and public transport. One of the major reasons why Beijing, which was that time number 1 in as far as pollution in the world was concerned, what they did, one of the major reasons was that they provided street to street, from every street, local transport to the nearest metro station, and provided electric so that the vehicle pollution came down. The statistics from Delhi in October this year said that about 40%, roughly 40% was vehicular emission, 20% was construction emission, dust, and 20% was other emissions from other industries, and 20% was parali burning then, and now 20% seems to be burning of dry leaves in this cold winter to keep people on the streets warm. So all that garbage burning, all that is the other 20%. Now each one of these needs to be addressed separately and taken care of on an annual basis. The only time I find Delhi AQI is somewhat tolerable.
Dr. Rao, the government has imposed a fine of 5,000 rupees on anyone who's going to be burning things, including garbage, out in the open. I see it every day. There's nobody stopping them. There is no police on the streets or an action force deterring these people. It's one thing to have the action plan, but what about the will to implement it?
That's what I'm asking. And then there is this dust and other emissions from the construction site. I had suggested that they consider 2 measures against it. One, prefabricated structures be used. Second, that they insist on proper barriers around construction sites so that not only dust but even noise pollution is reduced. Then I had suggested that all polluting industries either be moved away or their end pipe pollutants measures be taken to reduce that. And then I had suggested that street dust has to be reduced by having the streets in a better condition. You shouldn't be having muddy footpaths. You should have everything paved and vacuum cleaners being used for it. And then I had suggested that there should be public movement. There should be a major public protest to force these government officials and these people who are responsible for it to act. Unless there is mass public protest, I don't think these people couldn't care 2 hoots as to what's happening to the Delhi people. They themselves are dying, they are killing everyone else also. And the public action should also be against, there should be a way where immediately an image can be taken and passed on to the police to a particular WhatsApp number or whatever, showing people who are littering, who are dumping garbage, who are burning litter, etc. And last and not the least, I had suggested this many years back, please monetize parali. Then you won't have farmers burning it because they consider it a waste. If you can have MSP on grains and various other things, have an MSP on the parali. Let them be bought and used for industrial purposes.
All right.
And
Okay. All
we
right.
need to put
Okay.
up
All
with
right.
it.
I also need to get a response from Dr. C.B. Mishra on this. Dr. Mishra, uh, it's all right that the government is implementing GRAP 4. There's a hybrid mode which has been implemented, but it's not really doing the students any good. It's not benefiting them. The real joy of school, the real thrill for a fifth grade or a sixth grade or even for a second or third grader, regardless of the grade, is to go to school and enjoy the life that schools have to offer. This is only going to be a part of, or rather a vacant or a bad memory that these students will have growing up in Delhi.
Very true, sir. Actually, I agree on the point. Not from the only grade 2 or grade 3 child. Basically, we can say all the students from the grade 1 to nursery to, you can say, grade 9, students are suffering from them. And nursery to 3 to 4 classes, they are suffering more because 300 or 300 plus something the government announces to close down the school and do the online classes. And these online classes are sudden, basically, that is not pre-planned or something like in the planning procedure. So it takes long time also, and the students are also not getting the real, you can say, fun of the learning actually. So that is a real position where they are facing the problem also. And their learning gaps also starting increasing in this way. After the COVID also, we can say, and this COVID also affects something for learning, and we are suffering from that to cope up this learning gap for grade 4 or 5 students who are during the nursery or prep for second, they are in the COVID stage. Stage of this era, you can say. So this government is supposed to take some certain procedures through which air purifier or something to be installed in the classrooms or something. Subsidized air purifier should be issued to the government by the government to the schools, so that it can be used by the schools, and they put up and do something permanent solution for that. Otherwise, what will happen every day in the evening, we are getting the message at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. From tomorrow, the school will close down as per the direction given by the this higher authority, the court judgment. So that is the problem for the school also, school administration also, and running the buses also. Imagine if you nursery prep or second class, you are not running, but the other classes are running. So the system is running. It means the system is totally running. So nursery to 12, if you are running, the transport is same. And if the nursery to 4th or 5th class is not coming, same transport is using. So that is the problem. But we're caring of these things, we are doing all this part. School is also taking the initiative for not sending the children to outside for the play zone and all this thing area. But really, schools students are suffering. Teachers are not able to cope up the things. Number of holidays are increasing. Number of learning system is decreasing. Screen time is increasing. Another phobia starting. Media, or you can see the multimedia and all this this technological gadgets, you can say. I can say the technical gadgets, that is also increasing by using the children's. That is another area, you can see the problems we are facing these things, because the children's having the using the long time of screen. Imagine if the school is running to 8 to 2, so we are supposed to at least 3 to 4 hours to complete the curriculum in that area. That is also the one of the problem.
All right. Kavita ji, 150 crore rupees have been spent to bring Messi to India. And from what I know is that the funds which have been allocated to counter and deal with pollution are lying idle. A lot of them have not been even used by governments of Delhi, Haryana and surrounding states as well. What does this tell you, and what is the citizen supposed to do now? In fact, for the first time in Delhi, we got to see protests by citizens at India Gate when it comes to this air emergency. There hasn't been a single solid, serious step been taken in order to combat what's happening over here. We're running out of ideas, and like Gautam said, it's beginning to get boring now.
Yeah, it's like the mundane, we get up in the morning, we see the AQI. I think everybody's got into the habit of checking what is the AQI today now. And of course, there were a lot of protests this year, which was, really fresh, because for the past few years, citizens did not think that air pollution was their problem, their agenda. Everyone thought it's the government's responsibility to work on it and give Delhi fresh air. But I think it's an awakening that we ourselves participate and ask for our fundamental rights. And I look at us, we have converted Messi is a non-smoker. So by bringing him to Delhi at this point of time in this dirty air, we've converted him into a smoker who's doing 10 cigarettes a day. So it's really sad. I'm sure he's not going back with a happy memory, because at this point of time, Delhi is at its worst AQI, and with winter set in, it's adding fuel to the fire.
All right, fair enough. We've run out of time. Appreciate everybody who joined in and spoke their hearts out pertaining to this perennial problem that not only Delhi NCR is used to, but it's spreading across the entire country. We take a short break. Be right back.